We live in a fast-moving world of ideas. The internet has accelerated the speed at which we receive information. Unfortunately, many people in our world have received the internet as an entitlement to take the content and to produce it at will. At Charleston Southern University, we are a Christian university. And we know that taking that which is the property of someone else is wrong. And it's no different as far as the world of ideas is concerned. We want to build a reputation for academic honesty. We want a reputation for integrity and excellence in everything that we do. We are privileged to live in a free country where we have the opportunity to research and to publish those ideas that we find in our sources of research. In academia, our stock in trade is scholarship. We develop and explore ideas every day. If you do not have currently a proper attitude toward intellectual property, you will, I assure you, at some point. The study of ethics is the study of doing the right thing. The right thing is always to identify the sources from which you obtain ideas and to give them proper credit, and then to demonstrate how those ideas can work into your thesis of the paper that you're currently writing. Disregarding intellectual property is wrong. It is the equivalent in academia of stealing. Research includes identifying and distinguishing the ideas of others and putting your ideas with them in order that you can develop a different perspective. But do so with transparency and do so with integrity and character, which is what is used in identifying the sources of the ideas that you research. As students, help us to help you. Your writing is an extremely powerful tool. It can help you express yourself in situations where that expression is valuable. Not only monetarily, but also valuable in terms of the contribution that you make to the enterprise where you're working. It is also the right thing to do. Explain yourself in total. Explain your ideas. Show respect for other people's points of view as well. The whole educational process involves us learning more deeply and permanently by committing our ideas to either print or display where it can be read by others. It's rare in the academic world today that we discover a totally new idea. There have been so many who have come before us who have discovered ideas, and actually sometimes we think we come up with a new idea when actually it has already been published. But when we research an idea and we find it, and we know that we found it, it's critical that we give proper credit. Please listen to this carefully. If you present an idea or a quotation in your writing on an assignment and you fail to give credit for it, then you are saying to your professor and to your audience that the ideas that you're presenting are yours. And if that is not true, then you're telling a lie. It is not true. The key to successfully completing writing assignments in the MBA program at Charleston Southern is to talk with your professor. Your professor will generally set a standard for the writing that you do. There are several standards out there, the APAs, the MLA, and the University of Chicago styles are used frequently in different courses. There are guides that are available for these styles. Make sure that you have an authentic guide, not just what someone else says about the style, but an actual document that's written by the authors of your style. The purpose of having a style guide in a paper is to have some degree of uniformity in the assignments that are turned in. The footnotes that I require in the research papers that I assign allow me to see where the sources are, and many times I will go actually read those sources myself. Many times I see ideas that are presented in a paper that I want to pursue, and perhaps fill in some blanks in another kind of research that I'm doing. But I'll always cite those ideas, even if they may be yours as a student. I'll still cite them in any paper that I might write. The use of the work of others is a sign of excellent scholarship. We want you to use sources that are available to you in the library and even on the internet if it's a credible source. It's an indication that your research is broadly based and deep, which is a requirement of a paper that's well written. Let us be very specific here so there'll be no misunderstanding. Anything that you copy word for word from another source must be enclosed in quotation marks and properly cited. Both are required. The only exception is a lengthy quotation which, depending on the style guide that you use, can be designated by single spacing and dual indentation. Any idea which is the same substantially as what you're putting in the paper must also be cited. And this is true not only for a paper assignment, but for any electronic source that you may author. It is your responsibility to communicate with your professor and find out whether or not he or she requires footnotes, endnotes, or other types of citations. But you must cite properly any idea or direct quotation that you obtain from another source. Let us also be clear here as to what the rules are at Charleston Southern University with regard to academic honesty. The acquiring of an idea or a quotation from another source without proper credit being given is called plagiarism. Plagiarism at Charleston Southern University is every bit as serious a matter as actual thievery of physical possessions. Please understand that faculty do not want to create a catch-22 here. The purpose of putting this section in the orientation is to warn you in advance, before there are any bad consequences, of what plagiarism can mean to your academic career. Now, plagiarism is a very serious matter. In my courses, I use a tool called turnitin.com. This is a source that's used by many professors. It searches all over the literary universe, and it gives us a detailed report of items that are in a paper that have been copied word for word from another source. And yes, it catches everything. It catches other papers from other schools, it catches books, it catches magazines, it catches web material. There is more material on the consequences of plagiarism in your student handbook that begins on page 21. Now, your professor has an obligation, once he or she finds plagiarism, to report it. The professor has the option of issuing a failing grade for the paper or a failing grade for the course. Now, as a student, if you're accused of plagiarism, you have the option of accepting the professor's recommendation or appealing the professor's position to a committee. In that committee, when this issue is discussed, ignorance will be no excuse. The website at Turnitin contains instructions. Our library website has a very nice nicely written article on the dangers of plagiarism. And we have a writing center that is available to you on the second floor of Norris Hall that can help you better to appreciate the issue. Please take advantage of those sources and learn the rules of operating in an academic environment. If you have any questions at all, feel free to go to your professor and ask those questions. We're more than willing to sit down and to explain exactly what is involved in this area. If plagiarism causes a failure for a course, then the student is automatically expelled from the MBA program and must reapply for admission. This is a situation that should be considered now and not after the occurrence of the event, because securing readmission after a substantiated accusation of plagiarism is not easily achieved. These records are kept by the registrar, who keeps documentation on cases of plagiarism. And the university rule is a second verified offense causes a grade of FD, failure for academic dishonesty, to be issued for the course, and the student is permanently expelled from the university. Please consider the gravity of this situation. Again, as a student, help us to help you. Well-written, scholarly assignments support the mission of CSU in pursuing academic excellence in a Christian environment. Now, this mission is more than just words. It requires action. In order to maintain the ethical standards that we as Christian professors wish to follow at CSU, we must enforce the correct attribution of credit for research findings sources outside the student's paper. Employers expect you, particularly as graduate students, to bring analytical capability to the job. You will be amazed in the workplace when you're working in a key position what proper scholarly research will do for your career. When managers learn that before you accept any idea, you go and research it and test it and verify its accuracy, these managers that observe this kind of behavior and the people who work for them constantly find opportunities that not only provide creative opportunities for the acceleration of one's career, but also enhances one's remuneration as well. When I speak to many employers, they mention to me the difference between book knowledge and practical knowledge. This is one area in which research can do wonders for your level of experience. Now, when they speak of book knowledge, they're speaking of textbook knowledge. There is also a knowledge to be gained in the research world by going to the library and finding the original documents, the original works of many people who have done research in the past. It may be that they wrote their work 200 years ago. But just reading that original research, primary research, can give you a feel for what they were trying to say and how it applies in the modern world. It is so important in business to refrain from forming conclusions until you find the basis of sufficient evidence, and the only way to do that is through the process of research. Let me give you some specific hints that might make research assignments easier for you. Number one, be sure that you understand exactly what the professor expects in terms of a finished product. Go to the professor, ask questions, Make sure that you understand what is in his or her mind as far as the end product is concerned. When you pick the topic, try to find a topic in which you have interest. Strong motivation helps a lot at midnight when you're in the middle of a paper wondering why you should continue your research. So be sure that it's a topic in which you have interest. Stay organized. Use the computer. We used to use note cards in writing papers. Now a database is a much more convenient way to find the material that you've read previously because you took good notes. And allow enough time that you don't paint yourself in a corner. I've studied anecdotally over the years the students who wait until the last minute to write a paper. And I can tell you that the papers that are written at the last minute can never achieve the quality of a well-written paper written over time, where the student has an opportunity to go back and review over and over again the material that is written. So please allow yourself enough time to do the quality job that you're capable of doing. I appreciate so much you're taking the opportunity to listen to this presentation. I want to wish you all the success in your work in the master's program of business administration at Charleston Southern. In the spirit of giving proper credit, let me mention that Dr. Sharon Johnson gave valuable contributions to this presentation as he does each year, and I appreciate his help very much. Best wishes to you and Godspeed.